We are back on Morning Line. It's our final segment. All right, listen up here, because now in terms of, the crisis in the state of Tennessee when it comes to the care for seniors, it's getting there. Now, you want to deal with this if you can before it becomes a crisis for your own family. With us is Grace Smith and Dr. Jim Powers, Tennessee Coalition for Better Aging and the Age Well Middle Tennessee. All right, so, okay, if someone's watching us this morning, we've kind of covered the issues. What would you tangibly tell individuals if there's a guy out there who's watching, who's concerned about his aging parents, recognizing at some point they're going to need help? Okay, what should someone like that do in this situation now to be proactive? It's not there yet, but he knows it's coming for them. What do you recommend? Grace, what do you want to start with?
Recommend is that you have conversations in your family, that you, if you are an older adult yourself, it's important to let your family know what your preferences are, what you want. It's also important if you're an adult child caring for an aging parent to have those conversations. So it's very clear, if someone wants to remain at home as long as possible, if they have preferences about a particular retirement community, assisted living, nursing home, investigate those options now and make a plan so that you're not in a crisis having to make those decisions with limited options. The other thing I would recommend is reach out to organizations like ours. If you're an older adult in Middle Tennessee, you can go to any public library and get a copy of our free directory of services. If you're a caregiver, it's also free to you. Find out what is available in your area through nonprofit agencies, through area agencies on aging. Find out what is out there so that you're aware of options and know where to go when you need assistance. And also can, like I said, start making plans for the future.
That's awesome. Hey, Dr. Powers, by the way, what do you do when you have loved ones who want to stay put, but you've already come to the determination, along with doctors, that they no longer can, but they refuse to cooperate? What do you do, especially if they're starting to suffer from some memory loss?
That's a great question, and something that I deal with on a daily basis. It's always helpful if there's going to be a change of a living space to involve the older individual, even if there are memory concerns. Take them for a visit. Let them have lunch at the potential new facility. Have a conversation. This is not something that is done over a short period of time, by the way. This can take many months to get accustomed to, kind of get agreement, to get understanding, and to maybe try to keep a person at home. What I find is that there are often some failures that are important to point out. Perhaps it's a fall, perhaps it's a forgetting to take medicine, perhaps it's a wandering episode. These are danger signs that there's something that's really not going to be able to be solved by keeping the person at home with visiting agencies or even family members. And those are very real. And in my experience, even with a dementia patient, 99% of the time, they understand that they need more help and are generally very willing to cooperate. But it's always easier if they've been involved ahead of time. And as Grace has said, their preferences have been expressed or written down. Another thing that I would add to what Grace has said, that to make a list of insurance policies, of physicians, of the pharmacy that you go to, so that others, if they have to make decisions for you, can be doing things the way that you would want them. Have a living will. If you have a family attorney, make all that information known to your children. It's actually a favor to them so that they'll know that they're doing things the way that you would want them to do when it comes to a point where you can't make those decisions.
Yeah, and also, good point, and we talk about it with our elder care attorneys when they come on, get power of attorney too, for financial and medical, to assist them at some point. I mean, that's always something very handy to have. I guess the message going away, especially if we can get this $157 million in place, I mean, there's help out there available. That booklet that you were showing, Grace, is fantastic with the resources there. When will we know about that money in the federal Medicaid dollars?
That's a great question there. We know that Tennessee has until July 12th to enter this information, this request. And there are some guidelines. They can't cut any other services that they're performing right now. And again, we have been in active discussion with Tennessee officials to make sure that they're aware of what our coalition has recommended, what a group of 100 stakeholders that we've gotten together. These are family members, concerned citizens, providers, have made recommendations. So we're hopeful that Tennessee will come through with this request. July 12th is the drop dead time.
Awesome. Hey, listen, that's the time we have, but I want to thank you both for coming on. Grace Smith, Dr. Jim Powers. It's just good information. It's good stuff to talk about, and I hope some of our viewers take note of it because there are things you can do right now, and I just always like the idea of getting ahead of the curve, okay? Some of these things we talked about with regard to my parents, I learned the hard way. So, you know, if you get ahead and I have people like you as experts, thank you both for coming on this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. We're going to take a break. I'll be back with a programming note right after this.